So, question for you. How often are you aware of the fact that the God of the universe is with you? Like right now, the one who set this whole creation into motion, spoke it into being. He is with you in this moment. The creator of the sun and the moon and the stars and the galaxies and the majesty of the mountains that I love so much. The one who created it all. He is with you right now. And in all of your comings and your goings yesterday, he was with you. And tomorrow, with you. There are so many instances in the Bible that reminds us of a God who dwells in our midst, a God who is with us. And Abram, in Genesis 12:1, God says to him, "Go from your country, from what is comfortable, to a land that I will show you." And I was recently reading Samuel 16, and God instructs Samuel to go to a man named Jesse. And Samuel said, "But how will I go?" And the Lord says, "I will show you what to do." And when God says in numerous instances throughout the Bible, "I will show you," that statement, it assumes his presence. Showing requires being with, right? It means that God is going with. In the Old Testament, the tabernacle, the temple housed the presence of God. Then Jesus came and made his dwelling, says he set up camp and became the one who housed the presence of God on earth. Then Jesus, right, Emmanuel, God with us, said before his death and resurrection, which we just celebrated and remembered, he said, "It is good I'm going away, because in the Spirit of truth, the Spirit of God will come to you." And he says that he, the Spirit of God, lives with you and will be in you. That's John 14. And now, because of Jesus, the presence of God resides not in the tent of meeting, not in a temple, but in you and I, God's people. And this always blows me away all the time when I think about it. But how aware, how conscious are we of the presence of God? We might be able to say, yeah, Sarah, I know God's with me. But do we? When I become more aware of God's presence, that keen awareness causes my anxieties to transform the peace. It brings great joy. It does something deep inside of me. And honestly, sometimes literally feels like it takes my breath away. When I'm truly aware of God's presence, it transforms how I think, how I act, how I feel, how I see things, how I perceive things. And I just want to challenge us in the changes that we've been experiencing in this time, and the change of schedule and routine. Let us be cognizant of his presence. How are we becoming more aware of his presence? Aware of the fact that where we go, the presence of God goes. And we live in a world that needs to be awakened to the reality of a presence, the presence of a loving and caring God. And it's so much more natural for us to help those around us come to know and experience the healing, life-giving presence of God when we ourselves take the time to become aware of his presence. God with us, God around us, God in us. So this week, let's become more aware of God's presence.